You are mid-conversation right now, even when you are silent. A raised eyebrow, a pointed finger, a sharp intake of breath when something startles you. None of that requires a single word, and yet, somehow, the message still lands. But the real answer is far stranger. Long before your ancestors spoke a single sentence, they were already talking. Not with words, with something older, something your body still remembers every day, whether you notice it or not. Spoken language is surprisingly young in the story of your species. Estimates place its emergence somewhere between 100,000 and 300,000 years ago, which sounds ancient until you realize human ancestors existed for millions of years before that. So how did early humans coordinate hunts, warn each other of danger, and raise children, all without a shared vocabulary? The answer starts with your hands. Psychologist Michael Corballis argued that language did not begin as sound. It began as gesture. Early hominins likely relied on pointing, mimicking, and shaping the air to represent objects and actions, long before vocal language took over. You still do this. You point instead of describing a location. You mime drinking from a cup when words fail you in a noisy room. That is not a coincidence. It is a leftover system that used to carry the full weight of communication on its own. Gesture had one major advantage. It was silent. If you are stalking prey, sound can get you killed. A shout could scatter game or attract predators. A raised hand could not. Many hunter-gatherer societies still use elaborate, silent hand signal systems during hunts today. The system survived because it worked. But gesture could not do everything. You cannot point at fear. You cannot point at trust. Evolutionary psychologist Robin Dunbar connected language to something unexpected: physical touch and social grooming. Grooming builds trust between primates, but it only works one-on-one, and it takes real time. As early human groups grew larger, Dunbar argues, physical grooming alone could no longer maintain every relationship. Vocal communication may have emerged as a way to groom multiple people at once, through tone and rhythm, without needing to touch everyone individually. Talking may have started as an efficient version of something intimate, a way to say, "I see you," without laying a hand on anyone. That reframes something you already do daily. A warm tone with a coworker, laughing along even when the joke was not funny. That is not information. That is bonding, dressed up as small talk. Paleoanthropologist Dean Falk researched what she calls the putting the baby down hypothesis. Early mothers needed both hands free to gather food and defend against threats. Human infants, unlike many primates, could not cling to fur while their mothers moved. So mothers had to set infants down at a distance, which created a problem. A distressed infant is loud and vulnerable. Falk suggests mothers developed a soothing musical stream of sound to reassure infants without touching them. You know this today. It is called mother-ease. That instinctive sing-song voice adults use around babies without ever being taught. Falk argues this rhythmic soothing may be one of the earliest building blocks of vocal communication, existing long before words carried specific meaning. One of the first functions of the human voice may not have been to convey facts at all. It may have been to comfort, silent gesture for coordination, touch and tone for bonding, soothing rhythm for comfort. Three systems developing side by side, long before grammar or vocabulary existed. You still carry all three, running underneath the words you use. Watch a parent soothe a crying baby. The rhythm matters more than the words. Watch old friends reunite. Before a coherent sentence comes out, there is often a long hug doing emotional work language has not caught up to yet. Watch hikers on dangerous terrain. Hand signals reappear instinctively because pointing at a hazard is still faster than describing it. Spoken language did not replace these older systems. It was built directly on top of them. So the next time you are mid-conversation, Notice everything happening underneath the sentences. The tone shifting to reassure. The hand moving to emphasize a point. None of that is decoration. It is the original language, still running quietly beneath every conversation you have. You are mid-conversation right now, even when you are silent. And somewhere inside that silence, your ancestors are still speaking too, in the exact same way they always did.